Lisa is one of the 3 starter characters from Mondstadt, and her birthday came up recently, so I decided to build her as a main DPS. Well, that, and she's very underutilized in Abyss. Before I start to build Lisa, I think it's good to go over what her kit is. One of the main reasons why she's so underutilized is, well, her kit's a bit clunky. Her normal attack string is fairly standard with a 4-hit combo. The charge attack takes a little over a second to cast, applying conductive stacks to enemies hit. Her skill is the most interesting and probably clunkiest part of her kit. It has 2 modes, tap and hold, with the tap skill launching an electric orb, and the hold smiting enemies from above. The tap E adds conductive stacks like the charge attack to enemies hit, which increases the amount of damage hold E does to said enemies. Finally, her burst spawns a lantern which deals electro damage and can shred defense if you have Lisa's Ascension 4 talent. This does have a drawback though, as it has an 80 energy cost. Constellations wise, her biggest damage increase occurs at C4, which allows her ult to fire multiple lightning bolts. I only had C3 here, so keep in mind that her damage can be significantly higher than what is shown here. What I wanted to do was utilize Lisa as a main DPS, which means that I have to use her on field. If you know anything about using Lisa on field, her skill outputs the most damage in her kit overall. Thus, optimizing how many conductive stacks you can get is essential for maximizing Lisa's damage. What most people don't realize about Lisa's tap E is that it actually has a small area of effect. This means if you can group enemies close enough together, you can proc multiple stacks at the same time. An even more interesting fact is that if you proc Overload with the tap E, any enemies in the Overload range get conductive stacks. This also applies to other reactions that have an AoE effect as well, like Super Conduct. Optimizing Lisa's damage would rely on utilizing this mechanic. Now, of course, this means nothing if you can't use Lisa's hold E. The thing is that you can optimize how to use this. You see, you don't have to hold the skill the entire time for the maximum duration, which is 4 seconds. In fact, you can release it the minute the inner circle of her hold E aligns with the outer circle. This takes around 1.9 seconds, so you are vulnerable for a bit, but not nearly as much as many players would claim. There are other minute optimizations you can do with Lisa outside of these, but these are the main keys to making her an effective on-field DPS. With Lisa being an electro character, there are several optimal options for team comps. Aggravate / Quicken, Quick Bloom, which is a combination of Quicken and Hyper Bloom reaction setup, Hyper Bloom itself, and Taser. I decided early on that I didn't really want to center around Hyper Bloom as a reaction, mainly because Lisa's talent levels would be irrelevant since the Bloom cores do the majority of the damage anyway, and Lisa would be mainly force-fed EM as a result to optimize the Bloom damage. Same reasoning applies to Taser as well. This means that I had 2 choices left out of my aforementioned choices, Quicken or Quick Bloom. I tried both and tested around with them, but in the end I liked Quicken more. This is because it was really difficult fitting all the elements I needed on a team for Quick Bloom, as needing Hydro forces me to get rid of an Animo character or my second Electro character slot, neither of which I really wanted to boot. For a Quicken comp, we need a Dendro character. Duh. There are many options, well, multiple options, and you may argue that Nahida is the best for this scenario. I tried this initially, and put her on a 2 Deepwood 2 Wanderer set to maximize her EM sharing, and I didn't take off this set for the rest of the video.
That's called foreshadowing.
However, during my testing, I realized that Nahida's Dendro application is a little bit too aggressive for a comp like this. My Animo characters had a hard time swirling Electro because Nahida's skill would effectively absorb all of it like a dry sponge to water. So I decided to then slot in Dendro MC, as Dendro MC doesn't have nearly as aggressive Dendro application as Nahida. Dendro MC also provided other benefits, like great off-field damage, and extra Electro damage bonus, thanks to the effect of their C6. As for the Animo character, so that I could get VB Shred for Electro damage, there were 2 options I had in mind, Sucrose and Kazuha. Sucrose also EM shares like Nahida, which would replace that loss I had from losing Nahida in the comp, and Kazuha gives extra Electro bonus damage, which is also something I could use. However, the main deciding factor was how strong their CC was. Remember what I said about Lisa's Tappy? It has an AoE, so whoever could group the enemies more closely together would be the better choice. So, Kazuha joined the team, as his CC is the strongest by far. Seriously, why did they make a character this strong? He has CC, he has damage bonus, he has a VV access, like what more do you want in the support character? Seriously. For the final character, I wanted to slot in an Electro character to get access to the much needed Electro Resonance, which helps with Lisa's ER requirements. I was also lacking a healer in the comp, so I decided to pick Kuki for the last slot. With the team set, I could now focus on Lisa's artifact and weapons. Her best in slot, for on-field purposes, is Kagura's Verity, as it would boost her skill damage. For those wanting to build her yourselves, keep in mind that Witseth is also a perfectly viable option as well, and can even out DPS Kagura's with high enough refinement. My Lisa was a bit underleveled though, so I then began the long process of grinding her talent and level up materials. Alright, so now I'm poor. I have no adventure XP at all. Oh my god. 19 adventure XP to my name. Oh my god. I guess I'm gonna have to be farming for XP books for a while. Now that I was done with talent and level up materials, it was time for artifacts. There is a clear winner, actually. I don't need to do any spreadsheets this time. Thundering Fury. The cooldown reduction this set gives on top of the extra Electro and Aggravate damage makes this set very beneficial. There was one problem. I don't have a good circlet or sands. Like, I had usable flowers and feathers, as well as a cracked-ass goblet, but I was missing 2 pieces. I technically did have an ER sands in the event. I was really down bad, but I had no replacements for a crit rate circlet that I desperately needed. So, I farmed for it.
Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you constantly taste the salt.
Alright, please. Please, please, I beg, please. Please, no. 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 I'll sacrifice 3 circlets, fuse them together to make the ultimate circlet, please. Oh. It could be good. You know what? It could be good. If it gives me crit damage, it's better than my current one. And if it doesn't, I cry. Even attack percent would be good. Just something positive. We need more positivity in this world, you know what I mean? Oh, yes! Let's go! No way! No way that just happened! No way! Oh. They actually fused into the ultimate circlet. You can't script that any better. Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? EM's good too. Hey, I will not complain about EM. You know what? This is actually really good. I cannot complain. After that event, I decided to not press my luck anymore and just utilize the ER sands I had. I still suspected I might not have enough ER in certain situations, so it wasn't a total loss using it. But at this point, I had turned my Lisa into an aggravated menace, which is apparently illegal in the US. So please don't arrest me, police. I didn't mean to. FBI, open up! Well, now it's time to head into Abyss. My second team was essentially Nahida Virgin Comp, and I took it in without really swapping artifacts. Remember how I put Nahida on 2-piece Deepwood, 2-piece Wanderers? Well, I completely forgot to swap those artifacts out for 4 deep woods, so my virgin damage here was significantly nerfed. Of course, me not knowing at the time, I pressed on and tried to complete the Abyss with this comp. Now, usually I'd just play some music in the background and let you watch the runs, but I decided to have this video double as an Abyss guide, so I hope some of the tips I've placed in help you with your runs. First up was Chamber 1 with 6 waves. miHoYo spared no expense in making this Abyss as unplayable for mobile, console, and high-ping players as possible, huh? Despite my poor optimization in some areas of the fight, I cleared the first chamber with relative ease. Next, though, were the chicken and the manifestation.
Come a little closer. Let's spark things. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock.
Our bond is strong. Spring form. I'll settle this.
Fallen leaves. Come a little closer. Surrender and be gentle. You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. You play naughty boy.
Shatter. Stand with me. Germinate.
Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Let's
Lightning terrified.
One with wind and cloud.
come a little closer.
Finally, I was here. Chamber 3, with 4 consecrated beasts because someone thought that was a great idea. And my team has no interruption resistance aside from Lisa's hold E. This was going to be rough. After several hundred attempts of scouting their attack patterns and windows, I found something out. These enemies have a brief window where they don't attack, and it's long enough for me to get Lisa hold E off. There was some leeway with it, but not too much, so I had to get the timing down. With enough practice under my belt, I decided to head in and get my last 3 stars. I had beaten the beasts back. There was just one last obstacle standing in my path. I had done it. I had beaten this abyss with a main DPS Lisa team, and a somewhat scuffed Virgin comp in terms of artifacts at least. Lisa was honestly pretty fun to use, and getting those hold E's in the right time window was really satisfying. Even if you don't use her as a main DPS, she is plenty good as a burst support with her Death Shred capabilities. By the way, if you want to see sneak peeks into projects I work on my Discord. I post previews of my videos often, so if you want to join, the link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and happy birthday, Lisa.